Well. Look at what we have here. The FBI raids John Paul Miller's house. Can I say that this is an interesting turn of events? No, probably not. We all knew that something like this was bound to happen. It was just a matter of time and us being patient and waiting to see what happens next and hoping that the justice system does not fail Mica. But why did it seem to take them so long to make this move? Well, the government, if they have the evidence, which they must have evidence to raid a house, they have to show probable cause. They can get a warrant, a search warrant, relatively quickly. All they have to do is simply type it up and present it to the judge. And most courts have a duty magistrate available at all times to sign search warrants. However, in more complex cases, and I would consider Mica's a complex case, that's why it has gone on this long for months. And so many people have been very involved in this case, very passionate about this case. So I would consider this a complex case. Agents and prosecutors may choose to wait a significant period of time before executing the search warrant. And they do this because once the search warrant is executed, the cat is basically out of the bag for John Paul Miller and everybody else that may be helping him or just living around him. They now know what's going on. And once say John Paul Miller knows that an investigation is going on, he can therefore now take legal action, knowing that 100% there is an investigation, which he probably already was tipped off about this, as we all had a kind of a notion that this was going to happen. But once the FBI comes, there's no doubt. So delaying the execution of the warrant can allow the prosecutors to continue to investigate the case without tipping off anybody, basically. So this may be the reason why it took so long for them actually to come out. And just like we remember in Puffy, they take a long time because basically they are dotting all their I's and crossing all their T's to make sure that once they come out, they pretty much already have the evidence that they need. They know the situation. There is no really hiding at this point. There is no covering up anything at this point. Now let's take a look at some of the requirements for a search warrant. The requirements for a federal search warrant come from the Fourth Amendment. A warrant must state with particularity the person or the property to be searched, the person or the property to be seized, also the magistrate judge to whom it must be returned. The warrant must also command the agents to execute the warrant within a specific time, no longer than 14 days. That's on the warrant. They must also execute the warrant during daytime unless there's some specific particular situation otherwise that the judge deems necessary to do it at night. Also, they must return the warrant to the magistrate judge designated within the warrant. Do the agents have to show you the warrant? Yes, the law enforcement is supposed to show you the warrant or leave a copy if you are not there, because the police can search your home if you are not there. If nobody is present, they will just leave the receipt that states what they seized from the property. So we know these days, the FBI, when they raid, they love to get any kind of digital materials, such as computers, phones, any kind of digital devices where things have been downloaded, uploaded, searches have been made. So what happens after they take these digital devices? Basically, the agents and the supervisors review all the evidence once they get back to their field offices, and the evidence can be used for probable cause to get additional warrants if need be. Does this mean that the person, in this case, such as John Paul Miller, will be convicted? No, it does not necessarily mean that he will be convicted. All they need to obtain a standard search warrant, in this case, is probable cause. They do have to show the evidence for this probable cause. The standard proof for obtaining a criminal conviction, which is the next step, is that they must show beyond a reasonable doubt that this person is guilty of the crime that they have stated. So all in all, this is not looking too good for John Paul Miller at this point, which to me it never was. But I think that, you know, for us that have been following this case, this is definitely justice, a step towards justice. I will say that. So what do you guys think about this? We will definitely keep an eye out in what happens next, because this case just seems to keep going, and that's a good thing because we want justice.
Not my cup of tea.